Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing the layout that I created for the cyber crop over at Mystical Scrapbooks this weekend. I'll put a link to the crop down in the description box if you want to pop over and check that out. The challenge that this layout is for is to use stamping on your project. So I'm going to start off with a white background. I'm going to use this Dusty Attic stencil called Criss. I'm going to put some modelling paste through that stencil just randomly on my background. I'm going to use my palette knife to do this. One of the monthly challenges is to use the smooshing technique on your layout, so I'm going to do that on this layout as well. I did it on one at the beginning of the month and then really enjoyed it. This time I'm going to use my DinaWakley scribble sticks, and I'm going to scribble that onto a piece of plastic, and then I'm going to use this water mister to spray that. Then I'm going to smoosh that down onto the background and move that paint around until I'm happy with the colouring. I've chosen a sort of pale aqua colour because that's going to blend in nicely with the pattern paper that I'm going to use. I'm planning on using the Carta Belle Rustic Elegance papers for this layout. I used a wet brush just to move that pigment around a little until I was happy with the placement. So this is the paper I'm going to use. As I said, it's from Carta Belle Rustic Elegance range, and this one's called Chevrons. I'm going to trim the branding strip off and then use my scissors to cut along that sort of turquoisey zigzag. I'm then going to use my Versacolour black ink cube to ink all of the edges. Using the same sheet of pattern paper, I cut a 3/4 of an inch strip, so it's 3/4 of an inch by 12 inches, and I'm going to use the reverse side this time. Once again, I ink the edges with my black ink cube. Now I'm going to trim about 1/4 of an inch off of the bottom of my background cardstock and attach that strip of the apricot coloured paper to the bottom, so that there's about 1/4 of an inch showing. So I've cut the 1/4 of an inch off so that when I add the 1/4 of an inch of the apricot, my page comes back to 12 inches. Now I'm going to use my art glitter glue to attach that zigzag piece to the top of my layout. So I'm going to mat my photo now. My photo is 6 inches square, so I'm going to cut this 6 3/16 by 6 3/16. I only wanted a very fine border around my photo. I used double-sided tape to attach my photo to the mat. I'm going to cut another piece of the apricot coloured pattern paper because I want something for my photo to sit on. So I'm going to cut a 3/4 of an inch strip, and I'll work out the length when I'm putting it on the layout. But I'm going to cut 3/4 of an inch and ink around the edges of that. Now that I've got my placement, I'm going to mark with a pencil where my photo and my little strip are going to sit. And then I'm going to take them off the page and start my stamping. So I went through all of my stamping stash, and I dug out any stamps that had little images on them, tiny images. So I've got quite a collection. I've got some from Acid Drops and whatnot, some from Stampendous, some from Kaisercraft, all sorts of brands, and some that I got free on magazines, Picket Fence, Heidi Swap, anything that had small images. And now I'm just going to stamp those images so that they're sort of diagonally cascading across the layout. So I want them to be coming from the top left down to the bottom right. So I'm just going to do that, just stamping with these tiny images. And using my Versafine Onyx Jet Black ink. I bring my photo back on so that I can see where everything falls, and once I'm happy with all the stamping, I go ahead and use my art glitter glue to attach my photo to my little apricot piece, and then attach that to the layout. I've got the sticker sheet that goes with this layout, so I'm going to use some of the elements on that sticker sheet to create a little cluster down there on the bottom left of the photo. Some of these stickers I leave the white border on them, and some of them I cut the white border off. I'm not a big fan of the white border generally, but a couple of these fitted in okay with the white border, so I left them on there. Also used one of the stickers as the title. This collection is actually a wedding collection, but I'm not using it for wedding obviously. But the flower girl little sticker fitted quite well because my granddaughter's surname is Flower, so I'm going to use that as my title. So there we have my layout for today. So this, as I said, is for Mystical Scrapbooks Cyber Crop. So I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and if you are not a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And if you click the bell next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Once again, thank you for being here with me today, and I hope you can join me for my next video.